Another review of lchessica for General Hospital, June 12, 2025. Okay, y'all. So first things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below. Hold on. I be forgetting, y'all. I got to turn this thing on so that spammers can't comment. Let me see. Subscribers, 20 minutes. Okay, here it is. Okay, y'all. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode. Hey, how you doing today? How do y'all feel about the results of the court hearing? How do y'all feel about Michael gaining custody? I should have said spoiler alert, Michael got custody, y'all. People are saying he got custody because either Sonny or somebody else in his family paid off the judge. I said regardless of how it happened, it's a good thing that it happened. And not only that, everything that the judge said to her, she needed to hear it. But my thing though is she gonna be crazy now? Is she going crazy? I was like, wait a minute now, don't let her go crazy yet. I was like, she need to see that the reason she in that position is because of Drew, because she chose to trust him or whatever. Before she go crazy now, afterwards, I can see that her losing the kids, then her finding out that Drew and what's her name? Drew and Nina slept together more than once or whatever. I can see that making her go crazy. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that. How did y'all feel about that? She had a whole breakdown, the way she ran to Michael, and then she cried in Nina's arms. I was like, oh, she trying to make me feel sorry for her. I said, don't feel sorry for her, because she was crying. She told me, they can't do this, and they taking her kids, and she told Michael to tell the judge that she made a mistake, that they belong with their mother. I said, what about their father? They keep thinking, they being selfish, very selfish. Then she brought up the fact that Michael cheated on her with Sasha and had a baby and stuff like that. And you cheated too. Both of y'all are cheaters, technically. I said both of y'all are cheaters or whatever. That's why I assumed at first they was gonna split custody. But as long as Drew around, it wasn't gonna happen. It wasn't gonna be right. But the way he looked at when Willow broke down in Nina's arms and Michael then walked out, I was like, he finna do something. He already done did enough, but he finna do something else. And say, I'm so glad that Michael gets full custody of the kids. Willow didn't take it well. Hey, yeah, she did not. I wouldn't expect her to end up in the hospital. Now, when she fainted, I seen that first before I seen that in the results of the custody hearing before I seen the actual episode. So I'm like, okay, she fainted. I said, she pregnant now. But no, as of right now, no. Look like they saying that either she going crazy, because they did say something about she's supposed to grab Daisy. She's supposed to grab Daisy or whatever. I don't know how true it is, but that's what they were saying. But yeah, what else they say? Let me see. Okay, yeah, let me know. Are y'all happy? I seen somebody saying that they don't like that Michael is acting devious or whatever. They don't want him to have custody. And I was like, well, to me, he had to do something. He had to do something. But at the same time, he was kind of shocked. So I don't think he paid the judge off. Maybe it was Sonny or somebody. I don't know. But okay, so we're going to start with Natalia and Sonny. So at first, I had been saying, I was like, okay, she ain't got nothing on him. We have never seen her say anything. I mean, seen him say anything to her. She knew about the heart condition and all that other stuff, but she don't know nothing. Why she tell him that she got evidence that basically his money is not legitimate or whatever? And she been sitting on it. She was like, she kept it for protection in case Sidwell this and Sidwell that. I was like, girl. I said, girl, if that was the case, why didn't you tell him? Why didn't you tell Sonny? Why didn't you warn him? Then Marco want her to tell what she has on Sonny. I was like, look, you said either pick a side. You said you didn't want to be involved. So why is you asking your mama to tell you? I knew she was going to take days. They saying that, look, the way she woke, oh, Lord. The way she woke up in that hospital bed and she was reminiscing about the judge saying that Michael gets custody or whatever. I was like, yeah, she finna unplug herself and go get that baby right now. Then they all. That's probably why they said yesterday, because I was waiting to see if they say anything about Sasha and Daisy or whatever. And they said she's still in the hospital. They still in the hospital. Sasha recovering and everything. I was like, she finna go get that baby and dip up out of here. Natalia line. She is talking about some. I never betrayed. Girl, then you the one talking about she'll never betray him? You the one told your ex-husband that he was having open heart surgery. How you ain't gonna betray him? I was like, save it, please. Look like Jason saying something about him cutting his losses, after he get what he want. And I was like, y'all better do something. I said, they need to do something at this point, because she can't be trusted. That's been proven way too many times, but I think it was only one time. But yeah, I was like, she can't be trusted. Oh, you was sitting on that information. But yeah, they told her they ended up telling her, because at first he was saying, you don't have, I never told you anything about my business or whatever, and that's when she said that she had it on her laptop, she was using it or keeping it for protection in case something pop up with Sitwell or whatever. And she want his help. She was saying something about she got arrested for drinking and driving, and that's not her first offense, so she could serve up to 5 years, serve 5 years or whatever. So she said, "What they got to do with me?" But she talking about something. The judge, not the judge, 88 Turner said something about if she helps or provides information about Sonny, that she won't have to face no time. I was like, first of all, that ain't even, is that her call to make? I don't know if that's her call to make. I was like, Sonny, come on now, they need to do something. I said, it's about time they did something, because these folks just running around doing anything, and they supposed to be criminals. Criminals, well, technically. I said, it's about time. It's been a long time since we've seen them really, really do anything. But yeah, she talking about she need his help and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. At first, I thought she was gonna be wearing a wire or something, cause she still could have. Cause Sonny over here talking about some it's legit or whatever, and then he started talking to her about it. I said, don't say too much, cause she could have been wearing a wire. A wire. Who else we got? Alexis and Christina. So Christina ends up telling Alexis that she may have solved their problem, because Alexis said that she thinks the way to fix this is by turning them against each other, turning Ava and Rick against each other, whatever. She was like, she hired Cody to seduce Ava, and she was like, how is that supposed to help? And she was like, it's very clear that you have learned nothing from your mistakes. I said, you mean your bad choices or whatever? I said, exactly. She don't learn dilly freaking squat. She gonna some type of way this plan is not gonna work. I don't know. I might be wrong. It might work for a second, but it's gonna get exposed down the line. But she ends up saying how she was questioning how Cody, what makes her think that Ava would go for Cody or whatever, and she was just saying she seen them. You didn't see them at the pool or whatever. She knows it'll work. And then she brings up Rick, and she was like, let's be honest, Rick ain't never got over Elizabeth either way it go. And I said, right, true that. I said, true that. He in her face now. And so her goal is to push them together, push Rick and Elizabeth together. So Lacey was like, why would you want to push sweet innocent Elizabeth to him? And that's when she was like, he never really got over her to begin with. And that's true. That is definitely true. What else? She ends up getting a call. Alexis ends up getting a call. Hey, how you doing today? Alexis ends up getting a call from Laura. I said, Laura gonna be the one. Laura don't call her. No, she didn't call. Laura came and told her about the $10 million. Now she done told her that she thinks she trying to convince, if it's a good idea, she's gonna convince Elizabeth to convince her to get a lawsuit against the car manufacturer, because they think that's the reason why her and Rick got in the car accident. And I was like, Alexis just going through it at this point. But yeah, I said, despite her saying how Christina hasn't learned anything, she still ain't gonna do nothing about it. She's still not gonna do nothing about it. Who we got next? Ava and Cody. He came there to get her sunglasses, but he really was doing the trial run that Christina wanted him to do or whatever. They were just talking about art and all this other stuff. What did she invite? Did she invite him to something? I blame Nina as much as Drew. Yup, it still ain't told. Oh, is that I think I said that. I think I said the other thing before Willow goes crazy. She needs to know about Nina and Drew. Yeah, I did say that part. But yeah, I don't know if Ava invited Cody to something or what. But he had something in his hand, and he was telling Christina that's his ticket to, seeing her again and everything. But yeah, he was just talking about art with her, just trying to see if he could actually get her. And I was like, the way she was looking at them glasses and stuff, I said, he could definitely get her. I said, she gonna go. Who else? What else? Ava wanted to know how Cody tracked her down. That's when he was saying, she Ava Jerome. It's not hard to find her. Everybody in town know her. And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, it's not that hard, because he's been in town for a while now. Let's see. Elizabeth and Laura. She felt like Laura was gonna blame her because Lucky left town, but she told her it wasn't her fault. They ended up talking about Martin. She invited her to dinner too, but they was talking about Martin, how Martin wanted her to sue the car manufacturer or whatever. And Laura was like, maybe it's a good idea, and that's why she called Alexis. She called Alexis, so she wanted her true advice, because she don't trust Martin like that. I said, you shouldn't trust her either. I said, you seen with your own eyes $10 million is missing before court. Excuse me. Before court, Willow said no shared custody, had the same energy. True that. She did to my son. It was uncomfortable at the park. Girl, it didn't get uncomfortable until they missed it. I feel like they missed a lot of moments where they could have brought all this, brought it to head or whatever, brought it to full circle. I said that. They missed a lot of moments because Willow could have easily talked to Wiley. She could have easily talked to Wiley and found out what he said, but somehow I feel like that wouldn't have made a difference. The Germany thing, the judge did end up saying something. What did she say? She told her about signing the kids over to Drew and not considering the fact that how we get to talking about him, not considering the fact that Michael is their father or his custodial right. I said exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, she booked them eyes. She booked them eyes. I said she losing it. She started shaking Rick. Wait. Let me finish these folks before we get into that though. Like I said, Laura ends up inviting Elizabeth. She calls Alexis, and that's when she asks her true opinion because she feels like Martin. She feels like Martin may be out to just get money and stuff. Who else? Cody ends up filling Christina in, and he was like he did his research. He know that Ava dangerous and she be murdering people and stuff and getting away with it like everybody else on the show. Hold on. But yeah, he was like, so he gonna need an additional fee. I said he was gonna get he money hungry. He came on the show money hungry and he's still money hungry. But it's Christina's fault though. It's her own fault. I said, go on tap into that trust fund or your daddy money or somebody money and help him out since you wanna go set people up and stuff. Hold on. But yeah, he was saying he did his research. He did his research or whatever, so he knows she's dangerous and everything she done did. So in addition to the money that she was already gonna get him, he wants more. And before that, y'all know he was asking Carly or suggesting a little date night event so he could collect money. So I was like, yeah, he just trying to get money. He trying to get money. Laura Alexis, we already talked about that basically. Dog, we can't end with Michael, Jason, and Carly now because we're gonna have to end with Nina telling Drew about himself. Let me see what the comments say before court. I already read that part. That judge brought up all. She did. That's why I was like, she needed to hear that, but at the same time, I still don't think she heard nothing. We'll see though. She tried throwing Sasha and Dave on the bus. Exactly. She definitely did. I was like, girl, you started this. You and your mama and Drew started this. You let them get in your ear or whatever by hiring Martin. That's how it began. Well, no, it ain't. That ain't how it began. Her kissing Drew is how it began. Now I just know Natalia didn't know. Now I just knew Natalia didn't know something. But yeah, I was like, she's sitting on this information talking about she thought that she could use it or whatever. Yeah, you thought you could use it, all right. How he know that you ain't already used it and you trying to get proof? Let's see. Well, I guess we're gonna have to talk about Michael and them, and then the last thing I think is Elizabeth and Rick. Michael, Jason, Carly, Diane, they were just standing out there talking about how Willow broke down. Wait a minute. I didn't write it down. I'm tripping. Willow, Michael, hold on. The judge ends up, telling her about the property. She got to keep the car or whatever. So then she got to it. She was saying how the kids need stability. They need to be protected and all that other good stuff. So she ends up telling Willow about herself, told that she done moved the kids 4 times. I said, dog, it been 4 times? I said, 1, 2, look, counting on my fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. They should have made her give Lila ring back. Don't, Drew got it? Was that the one he got? Yeah, told her she done moved the kids. When she started, I was like, okay, she about to do Michael next. She about to tell Michael about himself too or something like that because people were speculating that maybe either Carla or Nina was going to get custody or something like that. But yeah, she was telling her she done moved the kids 4 times. And I said, where is this guy? I was like, ooh. I said, I ain't even know it's been 4 times. She told her she signed over custody to Drew despite Michael's rights or whatever. I said, ooh, what else she said? She just said everything she done did it's basically been against the kids. It hasn't been in their best interest. And I was like, Willow. And then she still was sitting there in shock. She was like, she gonna ask Rick. The judge ends up saying, with that being said, the custody goes to Michael. Full custody goes to Michael or whatever. So they happy and everything. And then they go over there to Willow. They go over there to Willow or whatever. And she was talking to Rick. She was like, what does this mean? I don't understand. He was like, you lost, Willow. She was like, what? She get up. She was like, you making a mistake. She just went off. She just was going off. She was just losing it. She was just losing it. And I understand. But at the same time, look behind you. Look behind you. Them two right there. Right there. Them two right there. But yeah, she was like, it's not fair. It's not right. She started pointing at the judge and stuff. She started shaking Rick. I said, she's losing it. I said, she done lost it. I said, she done inherited Nina craziness or something like that. I was like, but yeah, she was telling the judge, she was like, tell the judge, she ran over there to Michael or whatever. she begged him to, tell the judge she made a mistake or whatever. It's not right. It's not fair and stuff like that. Oh, I forgot the part where she was like, he slept with Sasha. He had a baby with her. And she was pointing at the judge. Then she ran over there. The way did they slow it down for y'all? Looked like they slowed it down when she ran over there to him. And then she was begging him to tell the judge she made a mistake. I said, how you gonna tell him to tell the judge she made a mistake? Talking about some of the kids belong with you. Why would this man tell the judge to take his kids? So y'all ain't got enough about taking this man kids? They ain't gonna try to use the fact that he got hurt against him, or he had to go out of town to get healing or whatever. Girl. But I ain't gonna tell no story. I was starting to feel sorry for her. The way she did that, man. Yeah, she butt them eyes, y'all. Then after Diane told Michael, because he looked like he was gonna say something or give in or something, she's like, come on, let's go. So before they got to walk out, she came up to him again, was begging him or whatever, and then he ends up leaving. He ends up leaving out, and that's when Nina came to comfort her, and she started breaking down crying in Nina's arms. Then Drew started looking how he was looking. He started looking how he looking, like he finna do something to make the situation even worse. But they were standing outside talking about everything that happened. Carly, now, did y'all see how Carly was looking back there when Willow was going off and everything? Jason looked shocked. Everybody. But yeah, they was out there just talking about Willow breaking down. But they said that it's her own fault for trusting Drew. Drew is the one to blame. And when they went back to the house, Jason was talking to Carly, saying how Drew ended up ruining Michael's marriage, his family or whatever, and he ended up shattering Willow. And I said, true that. Then they showed her in the hospital or whatever, and just thinking about what the judge said, I said, yeah, she finna do something. She's finna do something. Drew's supposed to be talking to, is that gonna be Martin? About if he's better off leaving Willow alone, or if Willow better off without him or something like that. I think it was Martin, because I think it's either Martin or Rick, one of them. I think all I seen was like gray hair, and I think they're the only two that has gray hair on the show. I could be wrong though, but yeah, I was. You think? I say exactly. Then he gonna sit up there talking to he was talking about something. Can he go see Willow? Can he go see her? And Nina was like, "This is your fault. The judge she lost her kids because of you. She did everything you told her to do, and because of that, she lost her kids." And was saying how in the judge's eye or in the court's eye, that make her an unfit mother or whatever. I said, true that? Definitely true. Because what I'm glad Diane brought that up. Because how you going to... What was he hoping? I still want to know what his plan was. Why you tell her to sign these documents giving up her kids in case something happens to her? That's why I was assuming something else was going to happen. Hold on. Let's see. Nina stood... Hold on, wait. I missed the part. I hope Willow isn't pregnant. Right. She need to get away from him. They saying that that's Shiloh with Drew Mass. I said, well, where would Drew be at? I don't know, because they did say, that's what I forgot to tell y'all. Portia had said to Kai the other day, ever since Drew got back from prison, he had got attacked or whatever, and ever since he came back, he been a different person. So I'm like, did they do a switcheroo? Did they do a switcheroo or what? They still never revealed if Cyrus was the one who put him up to that or whatever. Put the dudes up to that. Let's see. Nina stood by and watched the train wreck. Exactly. And they talking about she's supposed to be on the warpath. I don't know if that was for the day or tomorrow's episode, but yeah, Drew arrogant, still trying to see her. Yeah, he's trying to get by her side. He's trying to make sure that she don't realize she could do better without him. That the reason she in that situation is because of him. Or partly because of him anyways. Then Tracy say Willow gonna regret. Yeah, she said remember that. Because she told her something. What did she tell Tracy when she was at their house or whatever? She told her something, and she said, you remember those words or whatever. And she gonna have to remember them. Let's see what else. Yeah, Tracy sure did say she regret. She did. Everybody told her, remember this moment. And there you go. And now she done went crazy. Look like it. What else? What else? Nina and Drew. Yeah, she was telling him by herself, telling him that her daughter left her kids. Her daughter lost her kids because of you or whatever. He's still trying to go by her side. Elizabeth said that she's not talking. So they called. What they call in? Did they call in the shrink? They called somebody to talk to her or something, they said. I forgot, y'all. But yeah, and they was like, you think she had a breakdown? I said, think? Didn't you see that? She definitely had a breakdown. Shoot, the way she acted. Now, I expected her to, feel some type of way, but I wasn't expecting that, y'all. I don't know. Some people were saying, was looking on the video on YouTube, some people were saying how they felt sorry for her. Somebody was laughing. They was like, that's exactly what she get. This is exactly what she get. That's what they said. Hold on. Everyone warned Willow, but she said Michael was lying and trying to control her. Exactly. I like the way that was done, but at the same time, I still feel like she needed to see everything she needed to hear, first of all, everything the judge said, but then the truth about Nina and Drew should have came out too, because they've been going on for a long time. But yeah, they still saying that people that judge got paid off. I said, I don't care. I don't care at this point. I really don't care, because that would be messed up if he would have lost his kids. Because what they thought this was, don't sign away the rights to the kid. I said, what the world he got going on? Somebody, if anything happens. I said, where's Scout, Drew? Somehow, you don't even know. I said, he don't even know. Hold on, let me see. Oh, okay, that was the last comment. Over here, he's so pressed about her and her kids. You don't even know your own child. Let me see what else. Let me make sure I scanned all these notes, y'all. She runs to Michael, begs him not to do it, breaks down. Natalia needs Sonny help. Michael had said he didn't want to see her in pain despite everything. We already talked about her fainting. Cody collected his $1,000 and he wanted more. Neil tells you Willow lost because she did everything he told her. Oh, Rick and Elizabeth. I didn't know the divorce was happening too. Yep. That was the first thing. They said the divorce was granted or whatever. I said music to Drew's ears. He was about to propose until she sit up here and collapsed or whatever, but he might still do it. Let me see. Yeah, I think the last people Michael ended up explaining things to Wiley. He upset. I said, that's so messed up. That's so messed up, but at the same time, it is her fault. It's definitely her fault. But yeah, he's like, mommy. He's like, what about mommy and stuff? He was just worried about her, and I was like, oh my goodness. I said, oh my goodness. And she never around when it's time. She did want to go see them before she had collapsed or whatever. And I think Rick had said something to the judge about visitation, but she said they'll revisit that or whatever at a later date. But yeah, I think the last thing is Elizabeth and Rick. He was talking to her about losing the case, and he was saying how that's the first time, he felt bad or he felt some type of way or whatever, that it hit him hard. I said, how you sit there and say that when you heard, first of all, somebody brought this up too. They was like, Rick is acting like Drew is the one he's supposed to be working for. He's supposed to be Willow lawyer. And I said, exactly. You supposed to have told her exactly what was going on, especially with her child. But then you sitting up here talking about some doggone, it hit you hard, you feel sorry. That's the confession, y'all. Should have known he wasn't going to do the right thing, because we had seen, or we was talking about, the spoiler said that Rick makes a confession. Should have known his low down tail wasn't going to say nothing. The confession was that he felt bad, he felt sorry or whatever about the outcome. Man, blame yourself too, because you heard it. You heard it. They could have used that against him too, them too, if they knew about it. Rick was flying about. He definitely is. Drew on the moon for Scout. Exactly. But he got to be a father first of all. How you run around trying to make her the mama and you ain't even the daddy? You ain't even the daddy. You ain't the father. Hold on, wait. Let me see what else. I think that's everything, y'all. Let me see. Rick said he never felt so horrible about losing the case. Jason said it's all on Drew. Nina tells Drew if he really cares about Willow, he'll walk away. Shoot. He ain't going nowhere no time soon. He's not going nowhere no time soon. And yeah, we already talked about Michael explaining things to Wiley. Yeah, that's it. That's everything, y'all. Sasha giving. What they say? Diane say Sasha giving. Oh, when Diane was saying, they was asking her at the beginning of the episode how she think that the court hearing was gonna turn out. And she was like, given that Sasha gave birth or whatever right there, she was like, not good. It's not gonna work in your favor. But she was shocked too. Everybody was shocked. Someone needs to get Scout. Molly. Exactly, true that. I want to know how Molly's gonna feel when she found. I mean, right now we don't know. We actually don't know how Molly and Cody feel about each other, but they've been spending time together, so we could only assume that they was gonna develop feelings for each other, and they might still do it. So how will she react when she finds out? But yeah, that's it, y'all. I don't think they uploaded. What time is it? 3:40. I think they upload at 4:10 or something like that for Beyond the Gates. So, but yeah, that's it, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces, have girls today, and be safe.